Tell her that.
Tubes put in there.
Oh, there she is, all right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sandy.
I think somebody's muted.
I think we gotta get her volume turned up maybe or something.
Are we on?
Can you hear us, Sandy? We can't hear you.
And it's unmuted.
Your computer's muted, right there, right next to it.
Right there?
Yep.
Well, you got good eyes, 'cause I can't even see. There you go.
No?
Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
bad.
Welcome.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we got everyone here now. We're gonna call the meeting to order and look for motion to approve the agenda.
Any additions or corrections?
No.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approve the minutes from September 20th.
I read through them, they look good, so I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second. Any more discussion on minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. General public concerns. It doesn't look like we have any general public here. So we will move on to Ben, except for kind of fun looking maps for us.
Morning.
The main item that I have on the agenda is to approve the application and permit for the snowmobile trail grooming. This is within the county right away. If you look at the map on there, it is the same route that we approved last year. The only thing that the group has added or requested is that they're allowed to leave up a couple of their signs, as far as their hazard signs that they sit in front of culverts.
Culverts area.
The only thing that I warned them about is anywhere that farmers are mowing and haying, they'd still have to remove those. But they're gonna go out this fall and evaluate where they could leave signs up year-round where the property owners don't mow, and then it saves them a little bit of work.
Yep.
So,
You gave them good advice, because they...
yeah,
They aren't gonna be there the next
They're
year.
not gonna be there, exactly.
No.
So,
First is, same routes,
same routes.
nothing different. You don't have any problem with any of it?
Nope, we will receive their certificate of insurance in October when it renews.
Yep.
I think it's October 1st is when it is,
Yeah.
so it always shows up.
So you'll have everything on file and everything that you need, and no issues with any of it then?
Nope, shouldn't have any issues with it.
And therefore, I would make a motion to approve the application, the permit, for the snowmobile trail grooming county right-of-way for the 21-22 snowmobile season. I'll second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Be opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now Ben, looks like we got something to do with, do we need to wait on this, or is anybody coming in?
Yeah, I think,
Kevin.
Kevin's gonna come in, all right, we'll move down and go to claims.
Oh, that reminded me, I looked and I had,
Give me a second here, Bruce, to open this up.
general at 181, 317.84,
Okay,
and I had drainage at 26, 811.74.
that looks correct.
That's what I had, second.
We have first and second on claims, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Now, looks like we're going down to committee reports.
Oh. On Tuesday, the 21st, I had, is that the right? Has to be, yeah. Tuesday, the 21st, I had a Udmo financial meeting, by Zoom or by phone. Then on Thursday night, the 23rd, we had our CFR meeting, Zoom that also, and then Friday, I had, Central Iowa Juvenile Detention down in Eldora, and that was a Zoom also. And back up on Monday after the meeting, I went out and met Dave Huntermark, and we went over, rode up to that, crossing that he came and visited about, took some pictures and I guess have some, got our eyes on it at least to see what it, and what we're gonna do with it, and I guess probably end up having to call, the Petersons, and being as it's their property, and see if anybody wants to lay claim. Trish and Kim have a picture of it back in 14, that cut was already in it, so we'll have to see who did it and why it's in there, and if they wanna put a crossing in there, I'm guessing that would be at their expense.
Bingo.
Otherwise, it's gonna be, it is impeding the water, the flow of the water in that ditch, so we're gonna have to do something with that, or somebody's gonna have to do something with it and get it cleaned out of there, 'cause on the west side of that, crossing, there's water being held in. If we have a high flow, it's probably gonna push that rock anyway, so. That was what I did.
Sandy?
Okay, Tuesday, I was supposed to have a daycare meeting, but it was canceled and it's rescheduled for tomorrow. Then an unofficial thing is I went up and talked to Trish about the ARP, getting the committee members and when we could meet. We both decided that we wanted to talk to Jennifer a little bit before we had this meeting with everybody, so to make sure we had everything in a row, but neither one of us have been able to contact, Jennifer has not contacted either one of us yet, so I'm hoping to get that taken care of this week yet. On Wednesday, we had a Rolling Hills meeting over in Holstein. I drove over to Holstein, with Clarence. Nothing really big or new to report on that, other than they're working on the Ursh House, which is a core, requirement, from the state, and then we're also working on getting our access center, going also, and some of the things to get that, which is a core, requirement. And that is all I had.
Okay, Monday I got an email late that said that we had a Midas meeting on Wednesday. I had prior appointment, so I did not make the Midas meeting. That's all I had.
I did not have any official extracurricular meetings last week.
I didn't have any meetings either, so. How about we go into drainage?
We can do that.
I will make a motion to move to drainage.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, for drainage, and we'll come in and we'll talk about DD 7 sub 2.
Yeah, are you familiar with all this stuff in Odyssey?
Trying to catch up on it.
Okay.
Are they adding on up there, or what are they?
Wanting to put up a new,
I can take the arm.
dry fertilizer building.
What's their concern, if they encroach on the right of way?
They don't have enough room
No.
without us doing something.
Yeah, it's butted up against the railroad tracks on the
One
east
side.
side, and I'm guessing they probably, ours is on the other side. And that, elevator system they have, I'm sure is junk. As far as, it's old enough that it's probably gonna need to tear it all out and put something bigger, better. I've sat up there several nights, 'cause it breaks and...
Okay, so we're talking about D7 sub 2, about a field crossing, is this the one we're discussing?
Correct. Everybody has a map.
Yep.
The yellow highlighted area is the open ditch, and then there is a red mark on there where that the actual field crossing is.
That'd be that one,
Yeah.
right there?
Right,
Okay.
and then on the front cover, it just gives you an overall, or
All
an
right.
overview of where they
So it's
are.
obviously, it's a piece of property that is landlocked back in there, and they've constructed a field crossing by putting rock in the bottom of the ditch.
I'm gonna ask Bruce something, because he's been out there. Really?
Evidently.
So if, if you look at this, and then you look at that,
Mm-hmm.
Rick just kinda mentioned it, so this is kind of the CRP area?
Well,
That's actually part of the quarry.
Yeah, but...
Well, this is where the, this is where we cross.
This is the way...
This would be Harlan's area over here.
This is their...
Yeah, we came in here, and then this is the CRP along
What's
here.
in here?
That's the quarry.
Oh, that's still the quarry? So
Yeah.
there's just the CRP?
It's just this access, I'm assuming back in here, Dave thought at one time this was farmed.
Okay.
There's a
So
corner.
really, like we talked, there's really nothing in
Nothing,
particular
yeah.
back there. Rick asked crop, no crop.
Yeah, but CRP still has to be maintained.
Right, to maybe get back and mow it and spray it.
And burn it, and whatever you gotta do every so
So
often.
that's where that
Yep,
picture
that,
was.
we came down here and across here, and then we drove up in here, but this is the part that they bought, they just
Farman's
wanted...
whole place.
Yep,
Okay.
so his corner post is here, and I don't know how far that comes across, so...
But this is still Peterson's,
Yep.
and this is what they sold.
This is, Bruce Huntermark bought that area.
Yep. So it's just a access for,
It's something that someone has made over time, and like, you guys, was it 14, was that this picture? Like 2014, Trish thought?
On this-
Whatever's current on Beacon,
Right,
Mhm.
so it's been there a while.
right? But due to the fact that you had the large project done up in 7 sub 2 with all, you put in the new mains, and they reclassed that,
Mhm.
and had a lot of, well, part of the project was putting in new main.
Well,
And that dumps about a quarter mile northwest of where this crossing is. So the biggest concern, I mean, it's been there for how many years, but the biggest concern is going to be, since they didn't construct it properly, there's no culvert, they just put some rock in there just to drive across.
Well, it needs to be cleaned out.
right, it needs to be back to the grade of the ditch,
Yeah.
regardless.
And,
There's also I didn't tell you the other day, there's also a, area that has a hole that is in that, away from that ditch area, that it's sucking right there.
Oh, is that to the north of that?
No, that would be
Oh.
further east. It's probably, I don't know, 75 to 100 feet from where that crossing is. I mean, the grass is so tall out there, it's really,
yeah.
but David showed me he says there's a spot here where water has cut a groove there, channel into
The surface
that.
water, Bruce, or is it?
I'm assuming, yeah.
It's not a broken tile?
No, we don't know that, I guess I didn't get out and, I wasn't wanting to fall into the,
Into the hole?
well, there's water on that side, so I just,
And that's near the ditch?
Well, I believe we should send a letter to the landowners, notifying them of
Well, I just
where we're
sent it to
the
this
easement,
parcel.
and give them so many days to get it cleaned out, or we'll hire somebody to do it.
Yep, to start with.
Yeah.
there a time stipulation that
I'd
you give them?
30 days. 'Cause, you know, come, all of a sudden it's gonna freeze up and we'll be there till spring.
Well, I think probably, I mean, not being a hydrological expert, but, it's showing up now because it's extremely low flow from lack of rain.
Mhm.
So that, where Bruce's pictures show where, yeah, it is definitely impeding the flow. But if you have the ditch half full.
Yeah, the ditch is half full of water, you might know it.
Because it's flowing over it. But when it gets down to the obstruction.
And what happens when you build an obstruction, it silts in.
Yep, and it's gonna get to be a bigger obstruction.
Yeah.
So my question is if he talked to someone and they agreed to put a certain size pipe in there to help on the low flow,
They need to come to us.
Yeah.
that's my question, is who...
But it is their responsibility, but it is their dime for the crossing.
Right.
Mhm. But,
And I'm guessing that thing's no more than 15 foot wide, I mean, at the max.
mhm.
So it isn't like they're running a combine or semis or something, it's just crossing that they've dumped 3 or 4 inch ballast in there, and it's just probably 2 or 3 foot of ballast.
They made a Missouri crossing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we don't wanna make anybody in our Missouri friends mad.
No.
I'd say it just, they backed up and dumped rock in there, leveled it off, and,
Right through it,
yeah.
but.
So if they could put a pipe in there to make it work for the low flow, but the whole thing is on the high flow, I don't know what it's gonna do to that.
You just wash it out.
It'll wash it. But on the low flow like it is now,
Yeah, and then
there's,
you got more pediment in the ditch, and it needs to be done properly.
right. So that's the point. I guess I don't have a problem with it, but we don't really want, we don't have the eyes to go out and drive every ditch.
No.
And the only way that it was found was there was some property sold and they noticed that the water backed up, so they thought a beaver dam.
Mhm.
Well, it wasn't a beaver dam, it's a rock crossing, so,
Well, I think, yeah, the notification, and you've certainly talked to them, the immediate thing this fall is to get that back to grade.
Yeah.
And then they have the options with the correct pipe if they want to build a,
Any kind of crossing needs to be brought to the board
Yeah,
before
so
they
the-
do it.
like you said, they put in let's just use small numbers, a 3-foot pipe, but it needed to be a 6-foot pipe.
Mhm.
You know, Ben's gotta check that out on,
Down there, it's probably gonna be a 14-foot box.
It's a big, yeah, it's a big ditch.
well, up the ditch a ways, there's my brother and I were out there and trying to measure it without standing in the water. It looks like it's about 11-foot, pipe up on the north end on Grimm's land. So it would be similar to one of those, pipes that are up at MS there by the water tower. They have some up there, and that's what Cole sent.
Okay.
So, anyway, that's what
Okay, so
detective work
what
I
did you
have.
get written down there that you're gonna do? Let us know what you wrote down. Just so you follow,
Basically, we're going to be sending a letter to the current landowner of that parcel that they have 30 days in order to do the clean out of the rock that was put in, bring it back to normal grade, and they will have to meet with the board for approval of what they can do to move forward.
So my question is, the second question is, what about the cutout where that, because,
On the embankment on the north.
yeah, the bank, that dirt, the spoils was never leveled out when they cleaned that the last time. So they cut that ditch out, just cut the spoils out. Do they have to move that?
you know, just for common sense sake.
Cause somebody's gonna put a crossing right back in there if it's four-wheelers or whatever they're running through there.
But the fact you said the grass is growing, yes, we know it's cut out, but outside of the bottom grade of the ditch being brought up and impeding the low flow, it doesn't appear that banks are washing away.
No?
no, that part I don't think is gonna bother.
No, I mean, so I think right now, I think the wording is correct. Put it back to grade now, you got 30 days, and then anything further crossing needs to be done before the trustees for a decision.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yep.
Works for me.
Okay.
Drainage, is there anything else we need to discuss?
Next week is going to be the informal meeting. I sent everybody emails on this, if you just wanna take a copy and pass down. I can give Sandy another one, Kent, if you want that. You'd already addressed that.
You already sent this out, this is one you sent out.
Yeah, those are the ones that I emailed everybody 2 weeks ago.
You want this, Kent?
Sure. I can use this if you want, visual on it.
Well, hopefully that you sent it out to everyone in that district.
Yes, and I've only received one email back stating that they would prefer to do a new line versus continuing to patch it. The landowner just basically said, just stop putting Band-Aids on it.
Right.
It's costing them more in the long run.
Yep,
And
well,
that's-
that's the gist of it.
And with your picture that you sent us before, when Rick made the comment, if we could run a pipe or a tile along between the ditch, or their, sewage lagoon and the railroad, well, when you pulled it up on Beacon, that is such a narrow area.
Right, the width, just from the property from the railroad tracks to the lagoon is 25 feet, and that's the width of the road, and it even narrows more once you get on the south side of the lagoon.
So there's a little road that goes through there.
Yeah, it looks like a four-wheeler path.
Oh, okay.
But what is west of the lagoon, just along the railroad tracks here, it looks like a partial gravel road, but according to Beacon, it's only the widest part is 25 feet.
Well,
And that is
It's
just,
just an access to get back to.
Yeah.
yeah,
The mobile probably.
And I think the scariest thing is, we don't wanna mess with their sewage lagoon, because the next thing, that thing starts leaking
All of a
and
sudden it's dry and
then we just wondered where all that water went.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, we'd have old crap.
Don't wanna be draining their stuff.
No.
No.
That's my opinion, but
Okay.
I guess we'll see what next week's,
See what the next conversation is.
so,
See what kind of which way they're
thanks
leaning.
for all your maps, you're
Yeah, thanks for checking on
keeping us in the,
well, thank you for the pictures.
well, I'm
Because
not
I
sure
count on
that...
you guys to be out in the field to bring me back the information.
Well, I'd say it again, the farmers that are out doing field work, they're the ones that usually locate, see something, a blowout, a pipe, or whatever, so we need them to call and remind us, or to tell us that such
They're the
and
ones that are
such.
closest to all that.
They're the ones that see it every day, or
Yep.
for a few days, so we appreciate the help.
And that's all I needed to address this week.
Okay.
Then, make a motion to go out unless you
Well,
got...
the other, I think, we mentioned last week, the one that Brandon Meyer did, I think we said that the clean out is complete on that, crossings are clean, the
So
spoils...
you gotta do some pipe repair.
There's some pipe repair there, there's some spoils that need to be leveled, because we have a nameless disgruntled landowner that can't get the stuff leveled fast enough. But be that as it may, it has to be dry. Brandon assures us that that will all be done this fall. The pipes that need to be fixed will be fixed, but it, he did get that project, the digging and the cleaning is complete. He had another commitment that he had promised another drainage district county to take care of, and when that's done, he's gonna come back and finish this, so.
Okay.
Just where that is right now.
I've heard nothing but good reports
And it all worked really well,
so,
clean out.
happy with that.
Yep.
Okay.
Now I'll make a motion to go out of
I'll
drainage.
second that.
We have a motion to go out of drainage, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried, we're out of drainage and back as Board of Supervisors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We should be setting rocks tomorrow on that job down on Washington. They've got the bridge all torn out, bottom's mucked out. They're putting rock in down to grade.
Is that wet down there, or they got any water issues?
It's dry.
Is it dry?
He's got, his trenching and shoring box pulled apart, and he uses that as his coffer dams basically
Oh,
on either
okay.
side, stabs those in.
Stabs it in the ground, stops it, so we don't have a big earth problem.
Yep. Yeah,
That's
that
good.
way he's not dumping dirt into
Yeah.
the ditch, but,
What's the size on that again, Ben?
that one's an 8x8.
8x8?
Relatively small.
Yeah, I think it's only less than 1.5 miles of drainage area. It's up at the top end. But yeah, they should be setting box for that tomorrow.
So then we'll leave that set clear through the winter?
No, we'll set the box tomorrow and Wednesday, and then start backfilling probably Thursday or Friday. And, yeah, we should have the road open, I would think, by the end of next week.
Yeah, 'cause we piled up a bunch of black dirt there last fall or summer, didn't we?
Not on this one.
I was gonna say that.
This one, when he gets done with the dirt that he's got out there right
Okay.
now, we'll be hauling material from Hardy
Okay.
down to it.
Will there have to be, bridge, or anything on there, or is it open?
It'll be wide open.
Wide open? Good.
That makes it nice.
This is on a secondary road.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is
Yeah.
on, Washington, which is a gravel road,
Yeah.
southeast of Fuller.
So, yeah, I mean, when you get everything backfilled and settled in, camped in, re-rocked, it'll be good to go.
Yeah.
We'll throw a little seed out and,
Have a good crop iron.
You think?
You're amazing how they can grow everywhere.
Speaking on the weed commissioner side, if you make note of that, those areas, because they do show up, like Rick said, it's great for weeds
Oh, yeah.
the next couple of years. We can specifically hit those spots.
throws.
One showed up, well, this was just a county job on a bigger culvert, but not a box culvert, just underneath West Road. And of course, those items showed up with the vengeance this summer.
A lot of it, depends on when we did the project.
Yeah.
If it was late enough in the year.
I was gonna call you, I wondered if you forgot.
Actually, pepper also like to get the seed going, but weeds don't care when the weather dry. So if you ever, if you do make note of like that, make sure that, you know, 'cause it's on a secondary road, but we can get any of those spots taken care of.
We've got about 300 of them right now,
Well,
all the cross pipe resets.
yeah, some of those aren't as egregious, but these bigger box culverts, the bigger the project, the more dirt that gets moved, the more weeds that grow. So we can sure get it.
Yeah, you guys done a lot of cross pipes this summer.
Yeah, and we've got, Grout Scouts actually moving in, this past week, middle of the week, there's about 35, 40 pipes that they're gonna, patch the inside, and then pump full, they're all on paved roads, so they'll
Excellent.
fill any voids around them.
Excellent. But, yeah, so that's good.
Okay. All righty.
Our guest made it.
Yeah, boy, he's timely.
Yeah, a little issue on the highway.
No, not around
It
here.
wasn't with our law enforcement.
No, my tailgate was down, my box slid out on the highway. So, voting's done, I'm Kevin Walker with Farmers Co-op in Addison. I think you have most of the drawings, and I may have some that you don't have, but I have a, approval from the city council to go to the 33-foot, right-of-way. I just thought maybe that would, if you would approve it, that would simplify the process, possibly. We're looking at building that new fertilizer plant there in Addison, and, had all the surveying and everything done, and, the most current ones showed a 33-foot, right-of-way there, and, when they're looking for the drainage on it, I think they went to the engineer's office and found the 1951, that showed a 45-foot easement, so when we have everything set up, we're based upon 33-foot easement, so at that, we're like 5 foot inside of the easement, and at 45, we'd be about, I think it was, 6 foot into the easement, or the right-of-way, I mean, and we can't move any closer to the railroad track than what we have, and going south will allow us to get trucks in and out of there so kinda between a rock and a hard spot, and didn't find that till Thursday night, so.
So is this, Kevin's gonna sit where the current building is?
It's right behind it.
Right behind it?
South.
To the south?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So it is in the city limits, the current building is on a 33-foot right-of-way.
Yeah.
At best, it looks like, so, that's kinda what they were basing everything off of when they did the surveys and measurements.
Man, that looks big.
That's a little over 9,000 ton, so about 4.5 times what our current fertilizer plant is.
Wow. Are you gonna keep the current, the one that's there?
No, it'll be...
You can build this and then tear that down?
Right, we're gonna have to use the existing one this fall and next spring, and have this one in place for a year from now.
Okay.
They're supposed to start concrete work next week.
And you probably use the old spot for something else?
Mainly parking, that kind of thing, yeah. Give us a little more room.
So, you looked into this, I asked Dan?
Yeah, so, back in 1951, the county acquired, from 33 feet to 45 foot. It was recorded the following year. Basically, we graded everything south of, Edna Campion's acreage back then, but we never actually established or developed anything from the acreage north in town. The fence line stayed at 33 feet, the power poles are at 33 feet, we never actually went wider than, the old 33-foot right-of-way. I know at one time Kevin and I had talked about a variance, leaving it at 45 and allowing them to build inside the right-of-way. The more I got to thinking about that, I do not like that idea. I would rather vacate the 12 feet and go back to the 33-foot of right-of-way for this, I think it's like 226 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's not...
No, it'd be just from the north side of the acreage, the ground that they acquired, to the north, where the curve is at, I think is 226 feet. Normally, to do a road vacation, you have to set a hearing and everything else, but being that this isn't actually...
We're really not vacating a road, we're
No,
just changing
We're not,
right away.
yeah, so we're not vacating the actual travel portion of the road. You can do it by resolution, I believe. But as far as, like, the plats or the legal documentation that would be needed, you know, that would probably fall on the co-op.
So, would we have to do that in order to make, I'm sure their concrete people are the nervous ones, if they're wanting to start next week, could we do that? Get it the ball rolling, so
Our intention would be enough that they could
continue working?
So, I mean, if the boards indicate their intention of going from 45 back to 33, Kevin and them could continue with their,
The speed limit in front of here is still within town,
it's inside city limits.
so it's probably 35.
Yeah. I mean, normally this would all fall under city jurisdiction, but back in 2004, they put the onus back on the county for maintaining the farm-to-market roads through town.
Yep.
Well, Kevin, would you say 97% of the traffic that goes on that road is elevator traffic? There are some people that come to use your fuel stop.
Right, I mean, it'd be a 97% customer business.
Right. So it isn't like they aren't aware of...
The way I look at it is, by putting this up, it's gonna be better for the city, better for the county, better for secondary roads, because like Kevin said, the building that they're gonna tear down is right up to the edge of 33 feet, the
Yeah.
corner of it, so they're actually gonna be
Further away from what...
this new building. I think you said you're
We're
at
at 38,
38,
yeah.
I think, so.
Okay. There is no county tile underneath this project as far as we know.
No. There's a county main that runs through Scott Campion's ground northeast and goes
Close to
through the old schoolyard.
Okay.
But nothing here.
So, if we give approval, so what's on, and this would take re-recording, if you will, the easement?
Yep.
So then what would be on Farmers Co-op elevator to do then? And
They would
and what would be on you, the county side, to get that re-recorded?
So my guess is, I've never come across it before, I think we can do the 12-foot vacation, by resolution, and then if an additional plat needs to be done, Kevin can hire his surveyors that parceled this area off
To change it back.
to plat that 12
And then-
additional foot,
Record that as,
and then it would be recorded as
Their property.
their property, yep, and it would go back on the city's tax roll.
So would we have to put that resolution like on for next week? I'm assuming?
Probably as soon as possible.
Yeah.
we're pretty sure that's how you do it, is in the form of a resolution to abandon that.
Well, I mean, normally when you're gonna do a vacation, you set a hearing,
No.
you know, but...
Yeah,
that's when
you
you're
do your
vacating
20
the road.
days and all that crap.
Yeah, we're not vacating the road, we're just abandoning so many feet of the right of way.
Be similar to like picking up more right away, you just buy it.
Right.
You wanna buy it?
Whatever. Yeah, like Kevin said, it's kind of fell on our lap last Thursday.
At this point, he just wants somebody to shake their head yes.
I wanna get don't wanna start over again.
No.
I've been working on this for a long time already.
This is in the city limits of Addison, right?
Yes.
And they have a Board of Adjustment or to give a variance of that?
Yeah, they just had a special meeting or whatever and approved to,
Okay,
accept the...
so everything's in the city, right?
Yeah, as
See
far
no
as
problem.
The city's basically requesting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The city's requesting it, the way it looks, they're giving their...
Yeah.
Give them their blessing to do it, so...
Yep, so, you want that in a motion?
I think we
Yeah, just, what?
proceed with the resolution?
Proceed, yeah, we give the approval, I guess I'll make a motion with the approval to move forward, if it's a resolution.
Vacating
Yeah, vacating, so how many feet are we talking?
12 foot
12 foot.
or 226 foot.
The 12 foot of right of way within the city limits, Addison, 12 foot for 250 some feet, 26 feet. As stated by the city of Addison and countywide, we approve, we'll get the resolution in order to make it official, but I would make the motion, we proceed with that.
Second.
Got a first and a second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We'll have a resolution next week.
Okay. The motion carries to proceed with writing up a resolution to return that back to a 33-foot right away.
Yep, bingo.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kevin, for coming in. Good luck with everything.
I need to keep this moving.
Now, I'm gonna have to drive up to check out what you're doing here.
Don't get in a hurry, you won't know it's a lot for a while.
Well, I gotta come up and snoop just to see.
Okay, that's...
Good luck, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Anything else for the board?
I have a question for Ben, means he's here, and all of your projects, which you've gotten a lot done, as we've said. So, understand you're over the Bradgate area, be Delaware and 180th Street, if my signage is correct.
Yep.
Doing, this ditch clean out, or are you putting
Ditch
in,
clean out.
are you putting in a new cross pipe, or fixing an old one there?
We are doing a ditch clean out, on Delaware, from the intersection north. There's an intake west on 180th, there's also an intake north on Delaware that the water drains to.
An intake, just to get to, just a more ditch clean out, no new pipe or anything?
Not planned unless needed.
Okay. Well, it was brought to my attention by the landowner in that area, there is quite a bit of semi-traffic
Yeah, we looked at the radius, it's already huge.
It is?
Yeah.
And his request was, if you look where that comes in, one of those angles, what is it, 180th, and that Delaware Straight comes down with the, you know...
Oh, it's an odd corner?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not perpendicular.
No, it's not.
It's not a perpendicular corner.
And where the trucks, you know, and there's a lot of semis that need to get in and out of there, feed and otherwise, the fact of, you know, the turning space, radius of and, if there's a way of, while you're there, is there any way you can make that a bit wider?
I don't intend to. I mean, it's narrow because of the angle right now, it narrows in right on that corner because the radius is so large as it is. The only way that you could keep water draining at that intersection would be to have like put a pavement or something to help the water run around. I don't know, if he can't make that corner, he shouldn't be driving, I guess.
I mean, you know, I just,
Don't quote that.
because you're there, is it...
Yeah, I was gonna say,
No, it's a very wide...
180th in Delaware? And this is...
Yeah, she looked at Avery, and you can see it pretty clearly, the 180th is an angle.
I haven't actually gotten the request. I think Steve Lubenthal stopped and talked to one of my operators about it.
And obviously, I'm not the guy driving the semi on the road. I've been on the intersection, and I've never, you know, gave it much thought,
Right.
but if...
I think the issue is
I
where
see.
they're heading southeast, trying to turn north on Delaware.
Yeah, that'd be a sharp
That weird kind of right there,
Right.
on the west side.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, is it that big of a...
I don't know how you do it without basically filling the ditch in, because it's that narrow right there.
And maybe that was their concern, is it narrow, is that what's, you know, kind of shortening up the radius or room, just at that weird angle with the road? Yeah,
The only way that I could see doing it is if they're gonna give up some farm ground.
and they had no issue with that. Verbally said, this is not an issue, we're not gonna ask for, you know, it takes a little bit of
I mean,
farm ground,
to allow water to
make the corner.
make that corner.
To read.
If you're gonna widen...
widen that and actually,
You have to remove...
Take the back ditch,
You have to
backside of the ditch.
well, is this a fair way to say it, Ben? If you call it radius, or the road edge moves over, then the right-of-way would have to move over, and that right-of-way might end up in what's now part of their field. Is that just a simple way of saying it?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, you're moving everything to make it wider,
they would lose farm ground to be able to maintain the intersection.
and, I mean, obviously, this all needs to be checked into specifically, but we did not have a problem with that. If the radius can be, made larger.
I'll look at it with my guys again.
So, and the fact that you're there, you don't have to make a special trip.
Okay.
Anything else?
I don't have anything. Anybody else got anything?
I don't have anything.
Motion to adjourn.
What's the story, I don't know, I guess I had work session listed at the bottom, but, employee handbook.
We're switching persons.
We're in the process.
What was that, Ben? I couldn't hear you.
I'm just trying to find out what the status is of the employee handbook.
Oh, sorry.
I've been looking for a contract or something that, with Renee, and I haven't seen anything, so I'm going to have to develop a letter, or have Mike Galloway help me with it, to terminate the services with Renee. And then we'll end up going...
So will we have to start all over?
Probably.
I'd say
Well,
go
no, they
from...
should be, whatever we've done so far, That's our, we pay for that service, of whatever's been done so far, so we should be able to start from where we were at.
Well, we don't have near the time that somebody has in it, 'cause
I know.
he's been doing all the legwork on redoing that.
Yeah.
So, for us to expect him, I guess I hope we're gonna have whatever we did already with that handbook given to us, so we can use that as a...
They should.
As a starting point.
Yeah, because I don't
Yeah.
wanna start back over at the beginning and spend another 6 months.
Yeah, no, they should be able to take whatever we've done so far, we've paid for those services, they have, whether we terminate our service with them, they have to give that work back to us.
That's
All
fine.
right,
I was just
curious where it was going.
because I've got 18 guys that fell off the separate union policy that are now following
The handbook, which
a
isn't
handbook,
finished.
which
In limbo.
was written 30 years ago.
Right. Good point, Ben.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Anything else for the board?
no.
Motion to adjourn.
First and second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.